Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Ranting Redhead. I am the host, Aiden. Um, so I hate doing these episodes whenever I have to give an excuse of why. I've been a little not as involved as I once was. And before the reason was school, which was a valid reason, and I'm going to tell you my other valid reason. The day after I recorded the last episode, almost a month ago, I was diagnosed with an ulcer. And so obviously one of the things that I was told was obviously eat healthier instead of being the fat boy I am now. And they also said that you have to try to reduce your stress levels a bit. And I'm like, huh, isn't that interesting? I have a show where I am supposed to get mad at stupid stuff, but I think it's funny. So I had to put it a little bit on hold while I kept eating the most bland diet and having no fun, because after I recorded that last episode, I really wanted to get back in the habit of things. But health problems, they're fun. And obviously, on top of that, I've been having school, which, oh my god, it just keeps getting busier and busier. But I promise you, as long as I mean, who knows? Probably tomorrow, if everything's been on track, whenever I try to do an episode, something happens. Who knows? Tomorrow, I might get hit by a car. This might be the last show, but we don't know that, okay? So just don't get your tampon in a wad. I know you're gonna miss me, but I'll still be here doing episodes. I promise. I'll do my best. And yeah, today's topic. I was at work, which is something you got to do when you got to pay the bills. But I'm sitting there at work and I could hear this one song come on. And it's that stupid song. I don't know the band, but you've all heard it in, your Hallmark movies towards the ending. And, whenever you're in a mall or any retail store, anything like that, eventually you will hear the song Shake Your Groove Thing. And I just was like, I don't like it. I mean, look, especially this time of year, I'd much prefer that to Christmas music. There's no doubt. But I was like, well, can't we play like Van Halen or something better? And of course, so I just got sick of the song. And I said to someone just as a joke, right as the song ended, I just go, I don't have a groove thing. And this guy goes, what are you talking about? Everybody has one. And I love this guy, by the way. I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he's a cool guy. But, I'm talking to him and just saying, like, I am the least groovy thing ever. So I doubt that I would have a groove thing. And he goes, well, everybody has one. And I go, where is it located? And he goes, oh, well, you have to find out if you don't know. And I'm like, that's the problem. Like, what? If you want me to know so bad or say, hey, I have a groove thing. And you're like, but I can't tell you where. So I don't think I'm being helped out as much. We don't live in a kind community when your coworkers won't tell you where your groove thing is. And what is a groove thing? What is it? Where is it? And what does it do? The 3 W's, as I was taught in a classroom one time. Okay, so let's say it's what everybody could assume it is. It could be a sexual innuendo. It could be anything, but let's just say, for the hell of it, it is. It's the lyrics are shake your groove thing, yeah, show them how we do it. Can't you get arrested? So I don't care for this song advocating to my children that you can shake your groove thing and show them how we do it. A child could take that the wrong way. And you know what? In my society, I will have zero tolerance for that. But let's do a deep dive, shall we? Let's look at these lyrics and let's go through them. Shake it, shake your groove thing. Shake your groove thing, yeah. Show 'em how we do it now. Shake your groove thing, yeah. Show 'em how we do it now. Show 'em how we do it now. So if this is a sexual innuendo, like I said, you are encouraging your child to anybody out there for indecent exposure. So I don't need to show off my groove thing, but let's say for the hell of it that it's not, around your waist areas. I mean, or your tits. let's okay, let's. Well, it could be if it's anything. Like, okay, can my right elbow be my groove thing? Is your groove thing different than someone else's groove thing? Could someone's groove thing be a sexual innuendo, but perhaps yours is not? And why are we all lumping these people together? I won't have it in my society. The song was written in years prior, but I don't want to give the correct date. Oh man, I miss doing these rants. I'm not gonna lie. And even though I probably won't talk about it too much, I want to just that was kind of when I heard that song. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, I don't care if it lasts a minute, 10, or as we did a couple. I wanted to do an episode, and I'll have that be the title. But I can talk about other things too because I want. Oh man, do I want to? There's certain things I don't want to talk about because when I was at work, I could make fun of, customers, even coworkers, because I don't know, I just know them a little better than people I go to school with, and there's certain stories that I really, really want to tell. I have them all written down, so eventually, as long as I don't get hit by a car and, the FBI doesn't come knocking at my door for me to shut down this channel, then at some point I will tell some of these stories. And it's not that I dislike the people that I talk about either, but they do stupid things. Everybody does stupid things. My mom did stupid things, and 9 months later, I showed up. But I feel the need to tell these stories because I think they're funny. It's the same reason why I watch like fail videos, people tripping. I just find it funny that, people do something really stupid. And, I feel these stories should be told. It's like a sitcom. Like today I needed to go get some glow sticks for this awful photography project that I have to do. So I was like, I'll get some light sticks to play around. Glow sticks, wow. I did not want to offend anyone there and said, but okay, back on target. I needed to go get some glow sticks. And I pulled into this one parking lot. And here's the thing. When you pull in your car right into a parking spot, even if there's someone behind you, don't you assume if you park your car, you are going to get out of said car? Now, as soon as I open up my door, some old bitch comes running in with her fat fucking SUV and almost takes off my door completely because she parked too close to me. And I was pissed, but I'm like, just don't say anything. I was the bigger man there. I was a helpful boy. I was like, don't do it. So, I just walk into the store. I'm like, just look, nothing happened. Keep calm. I walk into the store. I'm looking for these glow sticks, right? And I see this bitch barreling down on me. Just from my peripherals. I'm like, ooh, it's like the predator in the jungle. There's someone watching you. And sure enough, she came in to attack. Being like, don't you know when someone's coming? She wasn't old. I don't know why I'm doing that. She wasn't old at all. But she's like, don't you know that I'm trying to park my car? And I told her immediately, I'm like, well, first of all, how would I know that that's where you're parking? Your turn signal wasn't on. Two, and I told her, don't you expect when someone parks their car, they're going to get out? You don't need to park right next to them. And it's one of those fucking things where I'm parked all the way in the back parking lot because I don't mind the walk. I'd rather just keep my car all the way in the back parking lot so I don't have to be around other people. Of course, she follows me and parks right next to me. So then this useless, probably widowed woman starts saying to me, back in my day, we had more respect for people like that. We were more alert, not on our phones. And I go, back in your day, there was more ice cream on the shelves, but then you came along. And so of course she all stomped off, all pissed. But the lesson that we have to learn from this is that I won. But I will tell you one story that just happened recently at school, and the only reason I'll tell this one is because the teacher that I'm going to be talking about, I know, is not going to be listening to this. So, and this is a cool teacher, by the way. But, just sometimes, boy, oh boy, we do not agree. So, of course, I'm in the broadcasting major. And so, your creativity is very important with a lot of your projects. So, we have to do this thing. And it's where we have to do a serious news package. Oh my god, how fun will that be? Let's tell the story about, a person getting a homework assignment. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Isn't that exciting, children? So, I came up with this one idea where I'm like, this could be kind of funny, because I was not going to, I was going to come at it from a not so friendly perspective, but I'm saying this all in fun. So, in another project, which I did, which by the way, this project that I'm referring to is that project that I uploaded recently about the Stallone trivia. So watch that if you haven't, because Stallone's the best, but that's beside the point. So this project was like a self-designed project. You write, whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. Just make it seem like a radio. So I did. And this other guy told me about something. And now I will, because I highly doubt this person's listening either. I'm not going to say the guy's name. I'm not going to give any single reference to who this guy is. I'm just telling a story that he pitched to just the teacher that I found out about. And we talked about it, and it was rejected, obviously. When you hear this idea, it will obviously be rejected, and this was not my idea. So I go to college with some interesting folks, let me tell you. Good and bad. And ugly, to make a pun. So he wanted to do this like made up story. I'm gonna twerk this story a little bit because I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I know the basic idea. About this seaman. He was a seaman who became a superhero or something. And it would have been it's like 8 to 12 minutes usually, this project. So just a quick short story, I'm assuming. I did not realize where he was going with the story until he told me that this guy's superpower, and I'm sorry to talk about this on my show, but I'm going to. He said that this guy has like powers or can't stop himself, whatever, from splooging his semen like everywhere. And that's the story of him like going on the bushes in the front yard at grandma's house, on the dinner table where someone's eating their meatloaf, on the math test that the teacher has to grade later. Anything. It's just that's what it was. And here's the thing. In my head, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? But I'm kind of intrigued about stuff like that, where people have just an insane vision that is squashed. I'm like, I just want to know. I want to know how that would play out in like radio form. I want to hear, I'm not saying it would be good, but I want to hear like where your mind goes. That to me is fascinating. Just being like, how could somebody come up with this? Why would they come up with this? How much free time do they have when they come up with this? But I was intrigued. Obviously, if it was a video, it would be I would be like, no, I don't want to see that. But in a radio form, just hearing it, I kind of want to know. But I want this guy. I don't want him to have any restrictions. I want to just see where his mind goes. I find that fascinating. Needless to say that the teacher immediately rejected that idea. But my news package, tying this all up back to the news package, my news package was going to be me being like, here at this school, most teachers, they're always supportive and welcoming your creativity wherever you may roam. But there's one man, dead set on keeping your ideas down, deep and buried within you, never being allowed to flourish. And here's I knew I needed consent from, because you have to interview them as well. That's the thing that I freaking hate, that you got to interview people. It's so stupid. It's a college course about the worst news package stories. I'll tell you my eventual one. But okay, trying to get back on topic. I pitched to him that idea, and I said, look, I'd interview you, and I'd interview him, and maybe another student, talking about if he's been blocking your creativity. It's like a debate. I'm not saying anything is set in stone, but I figured instead of doing a boring, bland news package because the news is awful, why not have some fun with it? Because you can't do a spoof, and it has to be a real story. It has to be a real story, all that crap. And yeah, he said no, so I'm like, okay, well, I can do a story on, someone I know maybe has a business. I can talk about that. That could be cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, especially at like a college level, I get that you want to make it realistic, but because it's not going to be good, why can't you like make it in the presentation of something that could actually happen, but you make it funny? Because it's just boring. I mean, and of course it's like any news is accepted, and I don't want to see something like, oh, well, just to inform everybody, Adam Scott, the random name I just came up with, just bought a donut, and he's here to talk with us about the 5-cent increase. Oh, man, I just think it's really sad that, we're getting into a world where, just for sprinkles, we have to pay an extra nickel. I just don't see the point in that. Can that change? I need to change this because I am poor. If you wanna support the cause, call 1-800. And of course, me being me, I'm like, I don't care about any of this, like any sane person, and also I don't give to any causes. There's no fun in that. I like having my money for me. I don't care whether it's homeless babies or disabled lesbians. I will not donate to any cause ever, because I don't have that much money. If I'm barely able to get by, or it's like, oh, what should I do? Donate to this charity where a kid for Christmas will believe that Santa dropped him off, a broken toy truck. I'm like, what? Well, if I donate to something, I want to get credit. What's the point in being like a silent donor? Like, if you donate like a kidney, and the person who takes that kidney, doesn't that fucker like owe you their life? Or it's like, I would go up to someone and just be like, yo, without me, you wouldn't be here. Can I at least get some dinner? I don't know. Whatever I donate anything to, whether it's clothes, money, anything, I want to be thanked in person, not by letter or email or message me on any social media platform. I want to see you in person, being like down on your hands and knees thanking me. And like I said, because if you reciprocate something that I paid my hard-earned money for, why should I give to you? Because it's like, I can't, I don't want to get a job, that's why I remain homeless. I mean, seriously, cry me a fucking river with this. I don't know. My money is meant for me. I'm not giving to any program because you'll never get anything back. It's only for bragging rights is the only reason I could ever see people donating any money. But once again, it's one of those things. I don't like when people bitch that they're broke, and I'm like, well, did you donate a couple of coins to Operation Santa Claus? Well, yeah, well, then you have no right to bitch. I'm not paying for your bread because you choose to give to some stupid kid, some overprivileged orphans that they need a toy truck. Yes, a toy truck is gonna bring you a home. I mean, seriously, is that the way it works? Where if it's like, if an orphan gets a toy truck or, some stupid little toy that they forget about in 2 weeks, do they think that, hey, if I get a picture with my toy truck, I might seem a little cuter, and, so a rich family will try to adopt me? Oh, boy. You're lucky if you go to a crack den. So a home's a home, am I right? As long as you're not, being abused. If you can still, get up and have your morning supply of Apple Jacks, then you'll be fine, okay? And that's something, sort of similar that I've always said on this show, and you probably have heard me say many times. If you're, a fan, you'll hear me say, like, and there's always these people that can't afford most things. They're getting by, but then they want to have a kid. And I'm like, well, do you really think that's the best idea? Oh, we have so much love to share. How do you measure what love is? That's stupid. I mean, seriously, what do you use to measure love with? A barometer? I mean, love is love. Whether you have it, you either have it or you don't. And that's the reality of life that we all have to learn and take a page out of my book from. Because if you listen to my advice, well, then you'll be adopted and go to a nice home. And that's another thing. There's no winning game if you adopt a kid. I'm sorry, but there's no way to win. Because number one, if they don't want to eat their vegetables, and they say, little Jimmy, you have to eat your broccoli right now if you want to stay up and like watch the movie or something, huh? What do you say? They always have the cart, "You're not my dad." They always have that up their sleeves. And then that's the other thing these entitled fucks always think of. Whenever they get the chance, it's like, oh, we found you real mom and dad. Why would you want to meet them? The ones who left you. And of course they're like, oh, well, we couldn't afford you, but we love you. No. Yes, because that proves that love cannot feed a family. So get a job and don't be a loser, like your next door neighbor. I mean, that was even stupid in the last Rambo movie. They did that. John Rambo was the uncle of a girl. Of course, John Rambo, like any loving person, he was basically the girl's father. And of course she's like, hey, and her friend goes, yo, I found your real papa. Let's go find him. And so, of course, she asks once, and then the next day later goes to find him. Well, spoiler alert, I guess she kind of deserved to die, if that's the case. You abandoned your true family. Rambo served his country, and that's the way you treat him? Go back to hell where you belong, bitch. I mean, the only good side of that happening in Rambo is we got to see him completely just fuck up a bunch of people down in the tunnels. It's glorious. Why do people not like that movie? I don't understand it. It was so great. I remember it exactly. It came out right when I started college originally back in fall of 2019. Oh God, I'm old. But right when I started college, Rambo was coming out. So I skipped a day of school and watched First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo, and getting ready for Rambo Last Blood. And my favorite thing, if you go opening night to a movie like that, it's just hardcore Rambo fans in the audience, and it was the best. One of the best theater experiences I've ever had in my life, like especially in the last 20 minutes. Holy crap. I don't care if people dislike that movie. I might watch that movie as soon as I get done now, because now I'm getting excited, and I had the Stallone contest that I posted earlier. And one of my videos from like a month ago, I did a Stallone video, a tribute video. So I'm riding high off of Stallone movies still. But holy crap, in that movie, it's so great. Like I think it's got like if you go on the Rotten Tomatoes score, it has like a 26%, which is not good. But the other people, like the Rambo fans, they all say it's just so glorious. Like people saying, oh, this movie, it was a horrible action movie, one of the worst movies of that year. I don't get it at all. Saying it's too violent. I don't care what you said, honey. That is that movie. The violence is effing awesome. There's a moment where this is like the first like big sort of action moment where Rambo like messes somebody up. where of course the girl, his niece, that spoiled bitch, being like, oh, I was provided a family, let me run off and see the man who hated me and abused my mother. Let's go, I need to see him. So like I said, she deserved to be taken. But God, that is awful to say. um, But anyway, Rambo goes to Mexico, and he finds one of the guys who took her. And as soon as he sneaks up on him and takes the butt, like the butt end of his knife, and just like breaks his collarbone, like tries to put his finger in there and like snap it off. And it's like, does that go extreme? Yeah, but number one, it's quick. And it's like, these people are sex trafficking like underage women. You want to see that happen to someone like that who does one of the worst things you can do. I don't know. I might just be people still calling it this offensive. I don't know, or triggering. No pun intended. But I don't know. I must be the people that are saying this just must be a bunch of snowflakes. See, but I am a true man and not a snowflake. I'm a big steak. And you're just a little snowflake that'll melt away. And, yeah, maybe I'll end the show there. Before I do, though, I'm gonna wrap this all up. Two things. One, because I posted that, Stallone trivia contest. If you want to see another thing I did, if enough people ask, I'll post it. I had to do a commercial for a class. You had to make it 30 seconds, then 15 seconds, and could be for any product. So my joke was I did something, and I know there's a real wine out there from this person, but I can't afford that. So I did something called Kurt Russell wine, where I made up my own version of Kurt Russell's wine. And so if you want to see something kind of funny, ask me, and if I get enough people asking, I'll upload it. But speaking of enough people asking, here's the thing, because I get some people saying like, when are you doing another? When are you doing another? You haven't done another in a while. I'm like, I know these things. But second of all, it's like, look, I'm not asking for the world here, but if I get the right feedback, if I get enough feedback as I want, then you know what? I'm encouraged more to do more episodes. But when my results aren't the best, it's not that I dislike doing this show, but I'm like, well, it's not something I feel the need to take time out of my day to do as much. So if you want to keep hearing plenty of episodes, I'll make sure to get them all done. But you gotta tell people about me. Tell your lonely grandmother who just lost, good old papa husband, and say, well, this might get your mind off things. Or go up to your local lesbian and say, yo, I got a dare for you. I bet this guy will turn you straight. And they'll accept the dare because, they're competitive. So, with that, I'm gonna end the episode. Thank you all so much for listening. God, I love doing these. And I can't do them without you. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll see you next time.